Hi there, musitrature recaps here. Today, I've got a movie breakdown for you. It's called Golden Treasure. Our protagonist, the girl, finds herself trapped in a rather unhappy situation. You see, her mother goes to great lengths to disguise her as a boy by wrapping her up in layers of gauze. It's not the most pleasant of experiences. And then there's her father, Jack, who takes it upon himself to introduce her to the world of smoking cigarettes and drinking vodka. But truth be told, she's not really a fan of these activities. Now, things take an interesting turn when the girl gets her period. Her mother tries to keep it discreet, locking doors to prevent the neighbors from finding out. Meanwhile, Father Jack is quite the wrestler, always competing. He's known as the strongest wrestler in the area and held the champion title for a solid decade. Yet, folks can be cruel. They make fun of him for not having a son, which gets under his skin. As Jack's wife prepares to give birth to their third child, there's a sense of urgency in the air. This is the last chance for a son. When the baby arrives and it's another girl, Jack is devastated. He puts on a show, proclaiming to everyone that he now has a son. From that moment on, he raises his daughter, Jane, as if she were a boy. He's dead set on making sure she never realizes her true identity, any inkling of her being a girl, and he'd give her a good smack on the head. Jane's upbringing is quite unique. Her father teaches her to smoke dry cigarettes and drink vodka from a young age. The goal? To make sure she grows up to be just as tough as any man. And she does a good job at it. In fact, she's so convincing that nobody suspects her true nature. There's even talk of her getting engaged to her best friend, Lily. But here's the twist, Lily has her eye on Ray, a wealthy and handsome young man. However, there's a catch. Ray is the son of Tom, who happens to be Jack's fierce rival. Right at that moment, Ray stumbles upon a surprising discovery. He catches Lily and Jane in the act of spying on him. Ray still can't quite adjust to the idea of the slender teenager, which prompts him to issue a challenge to Jane: can she tame a horse? Initially, Ray takes the lead, but soon enough, the horse bucks him off. Lily finds this hilarious and bursts into laughter. Jane seizes her chance, bravely mounts the horse, and expertly wields the whip, creating a striking and heroic image. Ray is left somewhat dazed by her display. However, their interaction takes a turn when Jane dismounts, leading to another argument between them. Back at home, Jane's father is livid. He's keen on avoiding any entanglements with enemies, but more crucially, he's determined to keep Jane's true identity under wraps. Frustrated and hurt by the situation, Jane storms out of the house and heads for the mountains. There, she retrieves a hair tie from a wooden box, meticulously applies lip color, and changes into a lovely purple ensemble, transforming herself into an enchanting vision. This is Jane's secret haven, a place where she keeps all sorts of feminine items she's collected. It's her refuge for those moments when she wishes to embrace her true identity as a girl. Unexpectedly, another version of Jane emerges, this one sporting masculine clothing, and engages in a heart-to-heart conversation with her. The other Jane cautions against shattering their father's aspirations, while the Jane in women's attire yearns to be authentic once more. She delicately places a pearl hairpin at the end of her locks, pondering whether it enhances her appearance. An intriguing question lingers: what will Ray's reaction be? Will he compliment her beauty? As it turns out, despite the years of rivalry, Jane harbors a secret crush on Ray. Yet, she's well aware that even if Ray were a woman, he wouldn't be attracted to her as a man. Jane arrives back home and comes across her parents as they're heading out to visit their new grandson. Her father gives her a warning to avoid getting into trouble. Later that night, Jane gazes at the starlit sky, a smile on her face as she changes into women's clothing. Embarking on a ride into the mountains, she coincidentally crosses paths with Ray. Ray, who is reluctantly being pushed into marriage with Lily by his parents, impatiently rides off on a motorcycle. They end up heading in the same direction. Ray's intention is to go swimming, but upon reaching the water, he spots a woman already there. He can't help but admire her beauty, and soon realizes who it is. The following day, Ray intervenes when Jane faces bullying from a group of his friends. He goes out of his way to help her, even assisting her when she stumbles. Later, he follows her into a cave, intending to help apply medicine. Jane is initially resistant, but Ray persists. In a heartfelt moment, he tears off a bandage, and they share a significant glance, finally understanding the emotions they've been feeling. Despite Ray's outward teasing of Jane in front of others, he starts asking her out on secret dates. Ray openly compliments Jane's appearance in women's clothing, suggesting she continue wearing them. From then on, they frequently meet in the mountains, enjoying precious and delightful moments together. However, their happiness is short-lived. Lily senses Ray's growing distance and becomes suspicious. She follows him to the mountains, where she is devastated by what she witnesses. Rumors have been circulating that Jack, Jane's father, actually has a son instead of a daughter. Jane's friends, prompted by Lily, attempt to uncover the truth by undressing her. Ray arrives just in time to defend Jane. Lily remains relentless, determined to expose the secret between Jane and Ray. Overwhelmed with emotion, Jane breaks down in tears, questioning why she's unable to hold the hand of someone she loves or have a child. Ray can only offer his embrace and comforting words. When Jane returns home, she discovers her parents are back, and her mother's face bears bruises once again. Jane recalled her father's recent warning about staying home, realizing she must act quickly before the rumors reach him. A few days later, Jane and Ray found themselves reunited in the mountains. Ray proposed the idea of running away together, but given her mother's condition, Jane hesitated and declined. Instead, she made the decision to continue living as a man indefinitely. Ray, looking at her sternly, assured her that he would patiently await her. Touched by Ray's words, Jane was moved to gather her belongings when her father suddenly appeared behind her. Discovering women's items on the ground, he erupted in fury, striking Jane harshly with a whip. His anger was fueled by his resentment towards his wife for not giving him a son, and he directed that hatred towards Jane for being a daughter. After her father left, Jane stared at the hairpin before her, feeling utterly bewildered. Upon returning home, she unfastened her blouse, revealing her breasts to her parents, a courageous move to force her father to confront her true identity as a girl. However, Jack clung to his self-deception, locking Jane away in a dungeon while insisting that his son had gone to the town to live with his sister. Ray, skeptical of Jack's claims, took matters into his own hands. Breaking into the house, he confronted Jane's mother in an attempt to uncover her daughter's whereabouts. Despite his efforts, she remained tight-lipped and offered no information. Jane pleaded with her mother, pouring out her heart about her love for Ray and his reciprocal affection. Her deepest wish was to have a conventional life, to bear children and raise a family together. Mother and daughter shared tears, their emotions intertwining. The very next day, Jane's sister confronted their father, while Ray sought out Jack. Ray's threat loomed: he would expose Jane's truth if she wasn't set free. The mere thought of his son's absence causing turmoil amongst the people drove Jack's anger, resulting in him forcefully pushing Ray to the ground. Yet, as his anger subsided, a flood of memories rekindled his recognition of Jane as his daughter. Jane had been an endearing child, ceaselessly working to bring joy to her father. She once playfully claimed she could down 5 vodka bottles in one swig and then lovingly embrace him, all while her inner child hid profound sorrow. Awakening from his obliviousness, Jack ventured to the dungeon, determined to liberate Jane. To his surprise, his wife had already released her. Jane and Ray were overjoyed, their union cemented in marriage. A year later, their happiness knew no bounds when Jane gave birth to a baby boy. Overwhelmed by joy, Jack shed tears of happiness. A long-awaited son had finally graced their family, a precious blessing from above. Dressed in vibrant new attire, Jane embraced her partner, and they embarked on a life filled with contentment. This marks the conclusion of their remarkable journey, a tale of love and transformation. Thank you for joining us, and until next time.